All right, you guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you guys for watching, all that good stuff, all the cliche stuff. Go ahead and subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this. This is going to be open and candid story that I want to share with you guys. And the title, as you can see, is Just Because You're Starting Over doesn't mean it's the end, you guys. And so I'm kind of like want to share this, but it's kind of like a personal story that only my family and friends know what I actually went through and all that good stuff. But at a point in my life, I actually, like, how you can say, not homeless, but actually didn't actually have a home of my own, meaning something in my name, some set in stone that this is my home. So I would not disrespect and say I didn't have a home, because I actually had family and friends and all these wonderful things, wonderful people, that was there for me during this time. But sometimes in life, you got to go through things on your own. This is your journey and your story to tell. These are your experiences, the circumstances, good and bad. Okay, you guys. So I was in this particular situation at one point in my life where I had to break a lot of things, you guys. I had to break a lot of prideful part of me, bitterness, broken, all these things that I thought I was, able to do, but it's not until you place in certain circumstances that it actually come out and you like, girl, you're gonna have to get rid of this, you guys. So this story is gonna be simple, you guys. You guys don't have to fast forward me and all that good stuff. I do appreciate your time. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and all that good stuff, you guys. But this story, I hope that it blesses someone, because if any situation that you're in at this time in your life, just because you have to start over, and some people be looking at the time, some people be looking at everything that's going on in their life, and they really don't want to start over, or they mad or upset, and they kind of be hard on themselves because they have to start over. But you got to look at things in life and realize that everything happened for a reason. Is what you take out of it, you guys. And this is my story, you guys. I'm gonna share with you. I learned so much. I'm glad I actually went through it, you guys. I know you're looking at the title is in the beginning you say I'm homeless. How could it something like that be an actual good thing? But actually it was. And so I actually made a decision at one point in my life that things weren't going great in the hometown that I was living in, my actual hometown. And I just wanted a new leap. I wanted a new chapter. I wanted a new something. And I was young, and I used to go at a beat of a drum, and stuff like that. And I really truly thought if I moved miles away from home and, that everything would get better. I'm sharing this with you guys so you guys can understand that, sometimes you got to fix stuff right where it is before you actually do make a decision. I'm sorry, you guys. My lips are just like... So anyway, I know that's silly. I just don't like my lips, but I'll deal with it later. But anyways, so sometimes in life we don't understand. We have to fix each other, fix ourselves right where we are. It's sort of like I still ran away from my problems, but eventually I'm that same person with that same, with that same whatever. I'm still there. I'm still that person, although I moved miles away. And so it just didn't work. I actually moved to Virginia Beach, Virginia with my sister, and it just didn't work. I was homesick. I wanted to come home. It actually was a story that actually news up there years ago that hit the news, and it was very popular story where a young lady actually had moved with her one child, and it was a baby at that time. They found the baby there, went to the house and could not find could not find the mother, and she was from out of town. She didn't know anybody, and this and that. And I was like, oh, this is just a wreck. So that helped me kind of like feel like I wasn't feel safe enough. And even though I had my sister up there, she was in the Army, so sooner or later I knew she was going to leave Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I was going to be up there by myself. So anyway, I just got scared. I was like, I'm ready to go home. I want to go back to my house. That goes short, I was not really mature enough to actually make that decision and moving miles away from home. Okay, so that's another reason why I just felt like everything happened for a reason. And so anyway, I moved on back home, and I came home to my mom. And how about, that's the first thing that we all do. We run home back to our mother and all that good stuff. And it's good to have my mother, You know what I'm saying? So I was grateful for that. But sometimes in life, you know what I'm saying, I want to, everything I'm making a subject. So this subject is, and sometimes in life, although my mother was there. So if you have your mother, your father, any parents that you have, and they're there for you, go ahead and give them a, you know, how I can say, go ahead and hug them and let them know that you're appreciative for the things that they have done in your life, even if they don't do anything else, you guys. And so, my mom was there for me. She allowed me and my son to come back, because at that time I only had one child, and we went back home to my mom, and I got comfortable, you guys. You know, how about when you go home and your mom's there, and it just, you know, you go back to your old room and everything just seems so, you know, comfortable and all that good stuff. And your mom, she's a loving mom, and well, your parents is a loving parents, and they bring you in, and you know, they give you a chance and opportunity. I know that my door would never be shut to my kids. But I also don't want to handicap my kids, and I don't want my kids to handicap themselves. So anywho's, y'all have to be mindful. I'm driving, so I know the lighting is going to be kind of off. But I want to just go ahead and share that story. So anyway, I just got comfortable in my mom's house. I had a job. I had a job and I had a car, but I was looking, but really not looking. You know, my mom was like, "You looking for an apartment?" I'm like, "Sure," I was looking. And so, anywho's, I was, you know, searching, but not searching. I was comfortable. And let's say that again. I was in my comfort zone. And I didn't really have no fuel behind me to push me in the direction I need to go through. And then something happened, and I don't want to speak on that. And I said, okay, it's time for me to go. You know, I now just realized I want to be in my own. And it's nothing like when you finally realize that you need to have your own. Because I feel like you grow up, your parents not going to tolerate you growing up, you know, and you're mature. And, you know, I mean, you know, you're supposed to be mature. You have a child that, you know, they don't have to tolerate you to extent. And I feel like it's a time limit even when you go home. I don't feel like nobody should be out here just laid up with their family. That's man or woman. That's just me. Like, let these parents live. Come back and bless these parents and all that good stuff. But that's a whole different subject. But anyway, I got in my comfort zone, you guys, and I was just sitting there just chilling. And then also things in life shaking up, and things get shooken up, and I got shooken up. And then when that time it got shooken up, I immediately said I would not move in with no one. Didn't want to go nowhere. That's the stubborn part of me. That's what you call what I think is my protector. I got closed in. I was like, nah, it's about me. I don't trust anybody. I don't want to be around nobody. That's the blame card that I did use at that time, to blame everybody besides taking responsibility for myself. And anywho's, child. And so life goes on, and I eventually get that fuel I need to say, okay, I got it. I need to get some of my own. And I made one prayer. And I made the prayer to God, and I said, God, I need you right now, and I need you to open doors and bless me with my own apartment. I want you to bless me, God, to get in my own place. I don't want it to be, you know, sister, nothing like. I want my own name on it. This is there. I'm a parent. Excuse me. I am a parent. I really need somewhere that I can stay. You know, now I'm understanding life from a different realm. Now I'm understanding I'm mature. I'm grown. I have a sibling. I mean, it's not a sibling, a child that's looking up to me. I got to make things right for them. I have to get grounded. I have to be, you know, all these things are running through my head. All these things that I really never paid attention to before. But once you become in tune with yourself, and once you know you become to that point where you now realizing, okay, and you grab side of that thing of blaming and everything else around you, and realizing that it first started with you and it's going to end with you. So anyway, you guys, funny story, I went to an apartment complex and said, hey, these apartments are actually taking application. I went in there, and I actually dressed up that day or whatever, because this is the thing about it is, I don't care what you're going through in life. This is just my statement is, no one can ever know what you're going through unless you look like what you're going through. And so that is a prime example of just, you know, my way of just masking that I didn't want people to know that I didn't have anywhere to stay. And that's another story for another time. And I'm not saying it's okay, because I don't think no one should look like that situation, but I felt like I was still in that prideful moment that I just was like, and so this will make sense, you guys. So I went in there, I was like, hey, I need to apply. I thought, you guys have some apartments available. I wanted to see if you had some available. And she was like, no, we don't. I was like, oh, okay. And I walked on out and I got in my car. And as soon as I got in my car, God said, go back in there. And I was like, no, because this is the thing about it is when you have a relationship with God, kid you not, you can hear, because, it was nothing, when you're in a place like that, it's nothing you worry about but a soul prayer to stand on, a soul scripture. And that's why I say sometimes in life, thank you, God, for you, because sometimes in life he'll take you there where you only have him, that intimate moment where you only have him. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm going back and forth, because I say it's a funny how I talk about God, and no disrespect to all y'all spiritual folks out there. I'm not being disrespectful and not taking for granted, the laws and God himself. And so I went ahead and I disobeyed. I was in that moment. I was like, no, I'm not going back in there. First of all, I didn't like her attitude. All these things run in my head. I'm going back and forth. Today, he said, you're gonna go back in there. You're gonna humble yourself, little girl, and go back in there and see, because I'm saying little girl to kind of insult myself, because that's the little girl moment, to feel like you don't have nowhere to stay and you feel like you can't go in there again, or you gotta kill your pride sometimes. And so exactly what I did, I got my butt out that car. I was so mad, you guys. I was pouting. I was like, I'm not. And I said, ma'am, and I really do want to see if you got something going, because this is a situation me and my child don't have anywhere to stay, and And I think she gave me a number or some way then to fill out the application. And from there on, I kept on filling out the application, and this and that. Now, kid you not, she was in what you call not so appropriate young lady or whatever. She just, some people know you want something from them, and even though they're working it, and so I didn't care anymore. I was just like, I need this. So regardless, I have to mute how I feel about this situation and be more mature to overlook that. And so I asked, and she gave me, and I eventually got it. So let's move on. I got the apartment. It was an apartment that I really could not afford, but I was so happy to get it, or whatever the case is. And then sooner or later I got something better. But God did bless me tremendously to open doors for me. I'm trying to get with some good lighting. So God did open those doors for me, and I appreciate him. I always will. So I always tell people, just because you have to start over doesn't mean, and I had so much that happened in my life, and if I had to shut down then, if I had to gave up then, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And so that's kind of like what I want to share with you guys. It's no matter what, if you got to start over, it's not the end, you guys. I kind of lost my train of thought. That's why I'm trying to go ahead and end this video, because I'm trying to see what direction I wanted to actually go in. And but yeah, that was one of my most triumph things that happened in my life. Thank God I can say that too, that was one of my triumph things, because more than anything is people have been through a lot. If I think that was one of my hardest things in life, and when I hear and speak with other people, I'm like, thank God. Thank God that that's the only thing that I can say at this moment was one of my hardest things in my life. And it corrected me in so many ways. It allowed me to know myself. It allowed me to deal with myself. It allowed me to trust myself. It allowed me to take accountability for self. It allowed so many things to happen with self. And it wasn't the end, you guys. So I don't know why I want to share this, but I hope that it helps someone. Because no matter what you're going through, and you might have to rewind, and you might have to go straw back, and you might have to go to that apartment and get out that home, or you might have to go and get another type of job, or whatever the case is, or you might have to end that relationship. Let's talk about it. Or you might have to end that marriage. The end of something doesn't always have to be the end. You get what I'm saying? It can very much be something in that moment that you can learn. But in that moment, remember that you're only concerned about self. And I'm not meaning that you don't execute anything that's going over you. You don't care about people. You don't care about their emotions and anything attached to you, especially if it's a relationship. I'm not saying that, but nothing, it's going to end with you. And so you got to pick yourself up. You got to talk to yourself. You got to give yourself those pet talks. And you have to understand that everything doesn't end there. And so that is the end, you guys. I just wanted to share with you guys that, and that is my true authentic story of myself. Like I say, all my family and friends kind of know that about me. A lot of people probably don't. I try to share that story with a lot of people, because in that moment, let me tell you something too. In that moment, I never knew that this young lady was going to be a part of my journey. And she actually was a part of my journey because she came to my job, and I make it short, you guys. She came to my job and she told me, and she was a regular customer. Never knew that I was going through that situation. And she came to me and she told me that she was going to kill herself. And I said, well, why are you going to kill yourself? You know what I'm saying? Remind you, I was already going through my ordeal. I probably didn't even know that night where I was going to stay. And I said, why are you going to kill yourself? You know, you're going to kill yourself. And it upset me so bad. You know, where the enemy was, and I can see, you know, when she in that state, but I can see the enemy, and I began to pray while she talking and she telling her story. And when she got to her story, I told her a story. You know, so you never know in life what you're going through, and never be ashamed to share your story. Now, if I would say, and also too, a lot of people say share stories and all that kind of stuff. But if you want to script it the way you want to script it, because there's some things that I'm just not going to tell the world. But I feel like certain things should be worth sharing. And one of those, and this incident was, and I forever be grateful that I went through it, because it molded me into the woman I am today. It molded me into, you know, to overcome shortcomings. It overwhelmed me to, it brought out a part of me to not learn how to kill my pride. I'm still dealing with that, but I know I'm better now into killing my pride. And going back to that story, she told my story and this and that. And after I finished telling my story and unveiling myself in front of her, because see, this is the thing about it is, at that moment, she thought she was the only probably woman that's broken. But I want to show her too a glimpse of me, and I unveiled me, and I told my story, and I let her know, you're not just the only one broken, honey, and this too shall pass. And this lady looked at me and she was like, thank you. And you know, and I think that day, I kid you not, she was a cigarette buyer, and she didn't buy any cigarettes. And I said, what kind of cigarettes you smoke? And I don't condone that. I don't condone smoking, you guys. But that was her habit, and da-da-da-da-da. But I wanted to do something for her. And she said, and then go back to it, she said that the reason that she wanted to do that to herself is because she did no longer want to live for her children. You know, she didn't want to live for her children anymore. And so I just took that in consideration, and I you know, I told her life would get better, and I prayed with her and all that good stuff. And yes, I prayed with her and all that good stuff, and that pretty much was it, you know. And she told me, she said, you don't look, how could you be going through all that and you don't look like it? And and I'm sharing this with somebody. Be mindful when you go around somebody, because I am one too that I put on an image and a mask that I'm strong and that I don't really need nobody. And I'm not going to really say I'm going to cry about something, because I'm not. That's just not, you know, I do have my cries, you know, and that's something I keep personal to myself. But I just feel like you just never know what one is dealing with, you guys. I hope this camera, you know, because the lighting for me is just horrible. But I hope this resonate in someone's spirit, you guys. And so live life, love, you know, nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Not tomorrow, not today. Nothing lasts forever. 24 hours is over with, so it doesn't last. I mean, nothing. Minutes, seconds, times, days. So when we trying to hold on to certain things and making it last and hold on to it, we got to be open. We truly got to be open that, you know, change is coming. we have to be open that things will change, and you got to be okay with change, and you got to understand in the midst of changing that you change with it, you know. Just to be honest, I don't know why I'm back here at the park, because I'm so done with this video. All right, you guys, that is all of me. Hope this blessed someone. Comment, share your, you know, share your journeys down below, or share your comments down below if this blessed you and all that good stuff. But other than that, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.